Emily walked home under the dim glow of a flickering street lamp. The night was unnaturally silent, the kind of silence that pressed against your ears and made every small sound feel monstrous. She clutched her bag tighter and quickened her pace. Then she heard it, a faint giggle, barely more than a whisper, coming from behind her. Turning sharply, she saw nothing. Just shadows stretching along cracked pavement. But the feeling of being watched didn't leave her. That's when he appeared, the smiling man. Tall, impossibly thin, his limbs unnaturally long, and that grin, wide, frozen, wrong. He tilted his head, staring at her without a sound. Emily's voice trembled. "Stay back. Who are you?" The smiling man didn't answer. He just grinned wider. Then, cutting through the still night, a blood-curdling scream tore the air. Emily froze. Above the rooftops, a horrifying figure hovered, the Screaming Nun. Her eyes were black voids, her mouth stretched in a scream that seemed endless. The wind whipped violently, making street lamps explode one by one. Panic surged through Emily, and she ran. The smiling man glided after her, movements jerky and unnatural. The nun followed, floating above, her shrieks bending the air, causing shadows to twist into grotesque forms. Emily stumbled, her chest heaving. What are you?" she shouted. Desperate for refuge, she ducked into an abandoned church. The smiling man entered silently, stopping at the doorway, his grin wider than ever. Emily backed away, knocking over a broken pew. Just as he lunged, the Screaming Nun appeared above, hurling objects with telekinetic force. The smiling man recoiled, and for a moment, the church was still, the tension thick and suffocating. Emily hid under the shattered altar, trembling. Shadows moved of their own accord, walls seemed to bleed, and whispered voices filled the air. "Join us, forever," her flashlight flickered. For a heartbeat, she saw the smiling man's face in her reflection, then the nun's screaming eyes in a cracked window. Her scream was swallowed by the darkness. The entities collided, the church shaking with supernatural energy. Objects flew, candles shattered, floorboards cracked. Emily was thrown against the wall, heart pounding as the cacophony of laughter and screams consumed her. Summoning all her courage, she crawled toward the exit. Both creatures froze, sensing her escape. She burst into the church graveyard, moonlight casting long, jagged shadows. The smiling man charged, his grin impossibly wide, while the Screaming Nun hovered above, eyes burning black. Emily dropped to the ground, closing her eyes, praying. Darkness swallowed her vision. A whisper echoed, "You can't escape." When she opened her eyes, they were gone, but she was not safe. The smiling man's grin was inches from her face, and behind him, the Screaming Nun loomed closer than ever. She gasped, terror rooting her to the spot. Then, as suddenly as they appeared, both vanished into the night, leaving Emily alone, trembling under the blood-red clouds of the moon. Above, the night was silent again, but faint whispers and distant laughter hinted that the smiling man and the Screaming Nun were always watching, waiting for the next soul to wander into their domain.